the last week of April, and this is a garden update here. This is a nectarine tree I grew from a seed, and it's only like 4 years old, and it's just like huge already. I might get my first nectarines off of it this year. My wildly grown compost bin here. Got a potato growing in there. Dragon fruit. You can see the flowers are just getting huge on it. They're all over the place. I don't know if the sun is going directly into the screen here, but see the little flowers starting right there. Another one back there. Boysenberry grow wild here in California. Just tons of flowers everywhere. Some peppers and onions. This is where I had a gojo berry, but it kept getting like powdery mildew stuff on it, so I pulled it, took it out just in case it would spread the rest of my garden. So I'll have to figure out what I'm going to put in here next. And then the wild volunteer tomato here that's been feeding me tomatoes the last few weeks, and it's a pineapple tomato, so they're super tasty. It's actually gone into my neighbor's backyard. Here's the corn and beans. They're actually doing a little better this week. It looks like they're finally going to take off here. I mean, I can grow corn until probably September, October, November here in California. And the tomatoes, which are just doing fabulous. Got tons of little green tomatoes all over them. I'll show you some black cherry tomatoes here. Black cherry. And this is a black creme tomato here. This was supposed to be the San Marzano, but it's looking more like a black cherry tomato. Down here on the bottom, you can, if you can see them in the video, all over the place. And this is a San Diego tomato, which is a red tomato that makes the killer salsa. The cucumbers are actually making a comeback here. They're starting to grow pretty fast with the squash. And these are the grapevines I've propagated. I gotta separate them now, as I can kind of tell they're rooted, because they won't pull out the soil easily. So I gotta separate them, put them in separate pots now. The blueberries, which I already showed you guys last week. Not much change, just thousands of blueberries on them. This is an heirloom Italian zucchini, which I should get my first ones off this week. The one back there is getting pretty nice. Another tomato, which I really don't know what kind of tomato that is. I'm thinking it's a black creme. The potatoes, which I've been pulling out weekly for dinners. And I planted a Fresno chili here. I bought this at a little nursery. And then some watermelons. Tomatillos, which are looking pretty decent. I mean, growing them in containers is kind of like tricky, but seems to be doing all right. And then more boysenberries, as you can tell, which is my favorite fruit, berry at least. And then over here, I grew this from the top of a pineapple, and now it's getting a little pineapple down there, which is kind of cool. I didn't ever think that was going to happen. And then dragon fruit, which this one only has one flower compared to the other one, which has like probably 7, 8, maybe 6, somewhere in there. And then my avocado tree which is doing good, but it didn't give me any avocados this year compared to last year where I got like at least 60, 70 of them. I think I let it bear too much fruit for such a small tree. Well, there's always next year, right? And then here's my new project I did yesterday. I bought a mango tree last week and I made this little planter for it. And this is where it's gonna go. I'm trying to have less grass because we're in drought in California, so I figured the way to do it is just plant trees that give me some food, and they're kind of better than watering the grass, right? And then my plum tree, and then my pepper garden over here with some trees and some herbs. Get my first peppers over here. As you can see in here, oh, flowers coming up. Another boysenberry I propagated and put over here, which I eventually want to take the front of this, and then I think I'm going to put the grapevines in the back and have it grow along the wall. Sage, thyme, basil, the 3 most used herbs I use. Another little jalapeno plant right here. And then my new cherry tree, which is doing decent. I mean, we'll see how it does in California. Might be a little bit too warm, but I bought it at a Home Depot, so I figured, what the hell, if they're selling it there, it might grow here. There's my compost pile I use regularly for compost tea and whatever else. So my project today will be planting my little mango tree. I'm going to try something. I'm going to just mix some compost and some sand and some coco coir and some vermiculite and put it in there and see how it does. It might be a mistake, it might not do well, but we'll see. I mean, the ground is really clay underneath there, so I'm hoping it'll break down the clay underneath and let the roots go into the ground. And then I'll show you guys one more thing and that'll be it today. But the garden's doing good. And then I'll just show you my compost tea brewing here. I don't think it's anything great, but I do it every other week. Alright, everybody have a good week. Bye.